how I mix guitars with delay. Basically, always prefer using delay on guitars than reverb, mostly because it's a really, really good way of adding space without washing them out. That said, I obviously do use reverb on guitars, and when I'm sent guitars to mix, they normally have some reverb pedals on or some reverb on the amp. So what I've just said, take it with a pinch of salt. Anyway, my go-to thing for a solo is Echo Boy mono stereo called Space Echo Ping, and that is in my user safe preset. Before. So that's just on the Space Echo setting, 8th note, ping pong. So let's listen to that in the mix and then turn it on and off. So that's obviously too much, but let's dial the mix back. We're at 21.5%, which is how the preset opens. Let's try half of that. So that's getting to the point where I can notice the effect. So let's try going even lower. Yeah, not really noticing the difference anymore. So 10% is too much, 5% is too little. Let's try 7.5%. That's a really, really good way of doing things, particularly if you're a beginner and you're not used to dialing things in. Pick a point that's too much in your opinion. Pick a point that's too little, and then just keep finding the middle ground, A being it. That's such a big part of when I'm teaching on my courses. It's such a good method. So let's listen to that in solo and A-B it. In the mix, it's adding a bit of width and it's adding a bit of shape and it's embedding the solo in the mix, right? There's no way if you're listening on a phone or a laptop that you're going to be able to hear that. But if you've got some decent cans on, you might be able to hear it. Let's try it with just the guitars in and the solo, and maybe that'll help. Cool, yeah. And then we can hear the decay when the solo ends, right? No, 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 no. Like that. Yeah, sorry about that singing. So that's one way. Another cool way, just an 8th note down the center, and we might be able to get a different rhythm going, like bum, 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 bum. Yeah, because the pattern isn't straight, the reverb can be. That sounds quite cool. Dialing the width in a little bit because I've got the guitar pan center. I don't want the delay on this one to be too wide because it's actually in the pre-chorus. I'm trying to keep things a bit narrow in this section of the song. Let me stick this on full wet so you can hear what it's doing. So this is 100% delay. It doesn't really sound too different, right? Let's see if we can get some like nice warble. Nice. So that's a bit too extreme, but we're listening to the 100% wet. Let's dial in that mix again. It's adding to the fact that that part's quite spacey, you know? There's another way that you can use delay in a mix. And let's try a little slap delay. Primal tap. Let's try mono to stereo, ed, slap, start up. Now we can take this off of beats, put it on milliseconds, take the link off, and if I take 5 to 10 milliseconds off this side and add 5 to 10 milliseconds on this side, there's going to be a difference between the left and right. And now you'll hear that that is a stereo slap. And then let's try listening to the dry and bringing in the wet. Great, and let's bring in some other guitars. Cool, so that's a bit too much. It's just adding a little bit of space around the guitar without washing it out too much. If I was using a load of reverb for that, then you'd start getting a little bit of like phasiness, weirdness happening with all the guitars. So that's how I use slap delay on a guitar.